Hi everybody, this is Zena Awesome. Staying at my friend's for a while. So again, everything's doing really well. Honey, quiet down. I've been able to get in my exercise, and so that part's going good. I have not just started. This is my fourth or fifth day of juicing. So like here is my second juice I made today. This is pineapple, about half a bunch of celery, a cucumber, and I threw in a whole tangerine, and it's pretty good. The pineapple was about a chunk about that big. So earlier I had one that had ginger in it. Ginger's a little strong, so it kind of makes the whole thing strong. And I had a leaf of kale, again more celery, more cucumber. I put a lime in, a whole lime. Well, I cut the skin off, but one lime. The tangerine I actually put in with the skin because it's got a really thin skin, so I think that'd be okay. And also I did a juiced artichoke this morning. It was kind of a dry artichoke. It's the first time I actually had my juicer stop rotating, so had to turn it off and back it up and then turn it back on, and then it went through fine. So, and I had some green squash. So I mean, I'm doing pretty good. It's not necessarily the most tasty thing, but it's definitely not bad or anything. And I threw in a couple tomatoes this morning. So I did order a pressure cooker, so that should be here tomorrow. And also because the exercising area here is a lot more limited, I'm going to need to take the dogs out with me when I go out and walk/jog. So I decided, and this one here, because of her breathing problems, this is Java, she can't do a lot of exercise. And then this one here, Zesty, when he was young, he had surgery and had the head of his femur cut off. You can see he's not helping. Well, anyway, you can see the scar through his fur. So he shouldn't do a lot of walking. I mean, he does okay running around, but if I go out jogging and I go out for an hour-long walk, that's probably too long for him. So I thought about carrying him, and I could certainly carry one dog with no problem. There's slings and backpacks and different things to carry him in. But then I thought of when I'm trying to carry two dogs, it's just going to be a little too awkward. So I went ahead and ordered a dog carriage. So my idea is that I'm going to have Java and Zesty in the dog carrier, the dog stroller, and maybe one of the other dogs, like Piggy here, she gets tired pretty fast, and Hero, maybe one of the smaller ones. It says it can hold up to 30 pounds, so I should be able to put 3 of my smaller dogs in there. And then I'm only having to have 2 on a leash, 4 on a leash. I'm thinking each leash. I have, she says, I have leashes. Of course I have leashes. I have dogs, right? But I have leashes that have the double ends on them, so that I can easily do 2 dogs at once, and I have 2 of these. So when I was saying 2 dogs, I meant 2 leashes. If I have 4 dogs, I can hook them up with 2 leashes, and maybe, I'm hoping that there's going to be a way for me to easily hook this up to the stroller itself, so that as I push the stroller is what's actually supporting the dogs. And then of course the dogs are going to have to learn how to handle that. And we'll see how that goes. I think it's going to work well. Yes, and we'll get rid of some of that extra energy. Huh? We do that? That's why they're all dressed, because obviously when I'm out I got to be able to put leashes on them and handle them. Yes, my babies. So I decided that, I talked about doing my research for how many calories I should be eating and how much protein and how much fat. And what I realized is that my Gobi does that for me. So my plan is to just, once I get going, to focus on getting enough calcium and enough different nutrients and let's see here. So now the Gobi, the way it works is I don't input anything. Okay, the Gobi looks at the cells in my body and it looks at the way things flow in and out of the cells. So these readings are totally without me having to put any input in here. So here's one of the days that, and you can see here that it shows me the fat, carb, and protein. It shows me the grams. Stop it. Stop it. And then it also shows me the percentage. So I can see what percentage of each. And this is actually what my cells are consuming. Now, why this is in particular important for me is because I have malabsorption problems, which means I don't absorb all the nutrients I eat. It's actually far more important for me to look at what my body's actually using versus what I'm putting in my mouth. So once I realize that, I'm going to use that to help me track how much fats and proteins I'm getting. That actually made doing everything a little bit easier. Now, they, of course, tout it as great for weight loss, which it probably is, but when you have digestive problems like I do, it's not always very accurate for that, because once you hit a certain mode, you actually start, using your reserves, your fat and all that, and you convert that into different chemicals for your body to use. Well, this is going to read those just like you ate something. So I haven't actually found it really show for me if I've done poorly and I'm losing weight. Now, I do have to say, on the flip side, I also wear the Fitbit, which probably more of you are more familiar with. And I've been wearing a Fitbit for 4 years now. I started out with the Charge HR, and I've only gone up to the Charge 2 because it does everything I need. And then we got my husband's replaced, so it's actually relatively new. He only used it for a couple months before he died. So I still got that one that I can convert over and use. So I'm not really planning on changing my Fitbit anytime soon. But what I wanted to show you is, yes, I do have, and because I'm going to be here for a while, I did bring it with me. I do have my Fitbit scale, because tracking weight is important. And what they say is that they're really horrible at telling body fat percentage. But what they are good at is that one reading to the next reading is accurate. So although its body fat may be wrong, I can see if I'm increasing or decreasing body fat, and that will be correct. So one of the things I wanted to show is that before I started exercising, that my body fat was about 19.5 to 20. I hope that's coming through. I'll see it when I do it. And then once I started exercising, my weight stayed the same, but my body fat actually decreased. Now, I had always heard this, because I've always been, well, not always been fat, but a lot of my life I was fat. And a lot of my life, I was told that, of course, muscle weighs more than fat, so it's not uncommon that if you start exercising that you won't see weight loss, because if you're losing fat and gaining muscle, the muscle's heavier. Now, I'd say if you're really fat, that you're probably going to lose more fat than gain muscle. But I was really, really surprised to see that I've lost almost 3%, according to that, 3% body fat, and yet maintained my weight. Because one of my concerns was that when I started exercising, that I wouldn't be able to eat enough to keep weight on, which is another reason why I really like the juicing, because if I need to increase my calories, I can try to do it with a little bit more of the higher calorie fruits or veggies, and of course I also do the berries and everything. But so far I've been able to not only keep my weight on, I've actually lost fat. So in a way, to me, that's really exciting, because it's showing that spit it out, Zena. It's showing that my physical activity is actually having results on my body. Thank you for watching my video.